Yeah, I was stuck finding a picture in about 2 hours of throwing this presentation together, and this is the best one I could find, but it has a hot dog, and that's one of the things that do drive me. So, I am a research fellow scientist with the USDA ARS. I currently also have 2 graduate students, both Ed and Kate, and I supervise Martin Dussert, or they supervise me, probably is a better phrase, and Glenn Morris and Rena Weiss and Han-Lun Lee, who is a visiting scholar right now from South Korea. When I got thinking about what actually drives me besides the hot dogs and the Cubs and that side of it, Frank Wiskett is one of our current theoretical physicists. In one of his books, he wrote the statement, if you do not make mistakes, you are not working hard enough on the problems. This is the real core of how I feel. Science is always built upon the mistakes. We really aren't people that make perfect decisions. We learn more when we make mistakes. So the overall interests that I have are my family and the history of science, of everything history, because I don't want to make the same mistake that's been done in history. I also have one of the largest fish ponds in Bloomington, and I keep a lot of saltwater fish as well. The other thing that I've grown up with computers. So basically, as computers have evolved, I've evolved and stuck with programming them ever since the beginning of the Atari and the Time and Sinclairs, as well as animation and those that really know me, the Guinness, of course. My overall passion is science as an observable observation sense. This is how I feel science is, and what we're supposed to do is be the objective observer. We're supposed to provide an environment where people are not afraid of making mistakes, and finding yourself through the service of others is what has really driven me to where I am today. So one of my favorite slides that was given to me when I first started back at Argonne National Lab was this one. And it was particularly keen to me because it shows how scientists can feel that they have observed things and they are correct, but neither of them understand the full picture. And it is one of the ones that have actually directed a lot of the work that I do, and I keep this in the back of my mind every time I see something. So what do I actually do besides traveling and not in the office here? I have basically 3 areas. The first is the biochar amendments. I both have field, laboratory, focusing on impacts on microbial gas production, the cycling of nutrients. More recently, this has taken me into the era of looking at magnetic field influence on microbial processes. The other area is the management practices on the soil residue microbe system. And the third is the computer tool development, where I've been doing a lot of computer modeling, controlling of growth chambers, all of the climate change and the new lighting systems we have available to actually simulate those environments in these controlled chambers. So how do I look at my overall collaboration in the research world? Is I start small here in St. Paul, and my first step was first to reach out to other ARS facilities because they were actually playing with me, so to speak. And we've set up a lot of multi-location efforts from a CharNet, GraceNet, as well as the REAP program. The next step was when we started taking more people in from the U.S. I work right now with 12 universities. We have 13 industrial collaborators involved in these 3 research programs. But I've continued to grow. We're up to about 19 international universities right now from 13 different countries. I have a total of 118 co-authors, and it's one of the things that I really strive to. Once I publish with someone for a little while, it's time to learn some new ideas, to get different thoughts into your realm. I also have 13 collaborators. We have soils from 5 continents. So when we're looking at all of the mechanisms having to do with these soil reactions, we really are getting a full-blown picture of what's possible. And then the last phase that I'm going to now is, since I can't keep up with all this work, we're actually opening it up to citizen science efforts, where we're developing little kits to send out to people all over the globe. So they would run an experiment and then return the supplies back to me so I can look into what happens with biochar aging, plant growth, different species, or whatever the experiment happens to be. And that's it.